Begin by securing the tank. Remove the 1/2-inch plug. Remove the cap bolts from each side of the tank. Insert a plastic rod through the open 1/2-inch port. Have a helper hold the opposing cap. Tap the rod with a mallet until the first cap is freed from the tank. Repeat the process for the remaining cap. Remove the 1/4-inch NPT plugs and the PTC fittings from the side of the tank. Remove any sealant residue from the 1/4-inch NPT ports. Replug the right 1/4-inch NPT port with the supplied plug. Wrap the plug 3½ times with Teflon tape before installing. Insert the 1/4-inch plug until it is just above flush with the tank surface. Orient the tank to insert the compressor. The 1/4-inch NPT ports should be on the right side if you are looking at the tank opening. With the blue harness leading, insert the compressor assembly into the tank. Make sure the open rail clamps are aligned with the extruded core inside the tank body. While sliding the compressor assembly inside the tank, look through the 1/4-inch port. Keep sliding the compressor assembly into the tank until you see the alignment hole line up with the 1/4-inch port. Make sure the compressor is on the correct hole. The assembly should be centered within the tank. Grab the alignment pin and wrap it with Teflon tape 3½ times. Insert the alignment pin in the remaining 1/4-inch port. Tighten the open rail clamp bolts to secure the compressor assembly in the tank. There are 3 bolts on each side. Torque these bolts to 40 inch-pounds. Next, torque the bridge bolts on the compressor assembly to 30 inch-pounds. There are 2 of these bolts on each side. Grab the ENDO-VT caps. Remove the retaining clip from the back of the black valve connector. Remove the valve plug by firmly pressing on the face. Take care not to bend the pins inside the plug. If stuck, try using a flathead screwdriver to push out the plug. Repeat on the remaining cap. Grab the cap with the open 1/2-inch port. Apply a drop of Loctite 262 on the threads of the 1/2-inch port. Insert the golden intake fitting and reverse thread it in through the back of the cap. Torque the intake fitting to 120 inch-pounds. Make sure the intake fitting is flush with the face of the cap. Grab the isolation valve. Place a drop of Loctite 262 in the threaded clamp hole. Partially insert the Allen bolt into the clamp hole. Place the isolation valve on the protruding portion of the intake fitting. Align the 1/8-inch airline fitting in between the 2 bolt holes at the top of the cap. Tighten the clamp bolt and make sure the isolation valve doesn't rotate. Remove the O-rings from the valve harness connector. Place the valve connector bracket around the base of the solenoid valve block. Remove the coil pack nuts to create slack for the wires. Sometimes the valve stems can also loosen when removing the coil pack nuts. Check each stem and make sure they are tight before continuing. If a stem becomes loose, tighten it back to 96 inch-pounds. Insert the valve harness connector into the bracket with the pins oriented to face back into the tank. Realign the coil packs and tighten to 36 inch-pounds. Tighten the valve harness connector bolt to secure it in the bracket. Repeat the valve harness bracket steps on the second cap. Remove and replace the large O-rings on each cap. Coat the new O-rings with Vaseline and place them on the caps. Grab the red power harness plug from inside the tank. Lubricate the connector and O-ring before inserting into the intake cap. Press the red connector into the plug port of the cap. Install the retaining clip on the back side of the connector. Assemble the coil pack on the isolation valve. First, place the spacer with the ridges up, then the magnet, then the casing, and tighten to 36 inch-pounds. Tighten the valve harness connector bracket around the base of the solenoid valve block. Grab the valve harness plug from inside the tank and connect it to the valve connector. Grab the 1/8 inch line from inside the tank and connect it to the 1/8 inch PTC fitting on the isolation valve. Next, slide the hose cover around the 1/8 inch fitting and secure with a zip tie. Grab the 3/8 line from inside the tank and connect it to the 3/8 PTC fitting on the isolation valve. Grab the cap and press it back into the tank body, making sure nothing is kinked or pinched. If you're having trouble, place the tank on a soft surface on the ground and use your body weight to pop the cap into place. Secure the cap for now with a single bolt. For the remaining cap, repeat these steps, excluding the isolation valve. Remove any remaining O-rings from the previous cap bolts. Install new cap bolts on both sides of the tank. Torque each bolt to 200 inch-pounds. Your ENDO-CVT upgrade is now complete.